We're going to take comparison pictures and video with the new Pixel 3 and the iPhone XS Max. What do you think, Justin? Justin's psyched.
Sounds good.
There's some construction on the road right now, and I'm just checking out the stabilization in the video. I think the Pixel 3 is better. Why don't you hit that bump for me? Whoa, the Pixel 3 is better. Did you see that, Justin?
Yeah.
Justin said it. And then I'm also testing the wide-angle lens. You can definitely fit way more in, but I still can't see Tony. There you are. That makes filming video way more convenient. But first things first, I need to get a coffee.
Do you know that jaywalking was a term developed by the automobile manufacturing to try to...
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
They're so cute! Can I say hi?
Can I say hi?
Yeah.
So handsome. Oh, I know. I don't trust him either.
Justin,
really?
you
Camera
scared
shy.
Full disclosure, Google brought us out to New York City so we could be the first to test the Pixel 3. The Pixel 3's 4K 30 FPS footage looks pro unless you zoom in. Unlike the iPhone, it has only one camera, and using digital zoom wrecks the quality. The iPhone also has the ability to shoot at 4K and 60p.
I'm better. Now we're testing the stabilization of the video. You see how much it corrects all of that shakiness.
It's close, but the Pixel is a little smoother. The iPhone's exposure of Chelsea's face is better, but the iPhone lens shows terrible flaring.
It's really, really windy. One thing I really like about the Pixel 3 is that you can just double click the button and it opens up your camera immediately. The iPhone's pretty easy. You can just touch this button. It can flake on me a little bit. I like the double click. I just like it, okay? Just like it.
Both cameras have a portrait mode, which simulates the bokeh of a big fast lens on a real camera to blur the background out. So my questions are, how does it naturally handle blurring the background when there are stray hairs covering up the background? How does it handle the fall off of bokeh? Is the bokeh nice and smooth as the background fades away, or does it happen artificially? Let's see.
You'll definitely get the stray hair demonstration. I've got that locked down. Oh my gosh.
Honestly, both these portraits look bad, but in different ways. The Pixel photo is wider angle, it's underexposed, and way over-sharpened. The iPhone HDR processing eliminated the shadows from her face and oversaturated the colors, but showed more natural detail without over-sharpening. What is up with the way the iPhone processes portraits? It looks like there's heavy beauty filters applied, but they say it's not. We think it's the way they're handling their HDR processing. It's removing all the shadows from the face and making it look flat. The Pixel just generally looks better, despite the fact that the Pixel is crushing the blacks and over-sharpening.
One big difference I see is that the iPhone has a more telephoto lens. It actually has two lenses, whereas the Pixel only has one. So the Pixel is cropping in to get the more telephoto perspective, and it's using the dual pixel autofocus built into the single sensor to do the depth mapping. The iPhone uses both lenses together to figure out how far away different parts of the scene are.
Even without the fake bokeh, the Pixel's HDR processing created distracting halos while it tried to handle local contrast. The Pixel's fake bokeh looked passable on the smartphone screen, but unusable on a bigger screen. The iPhone's fake bokeh also sucked in areas of detail, but these were really challenging circumstances with the hair flying everywhere.
Both cameras also have background blur and selfie mode, so I'm going to try that out too. So this is without the background blur on the Pixel 3, and this is with. I like the Pixel 3. So I'm going to try doing the same thing in selfie mode, taking a picture, but heavily backlit to see how it handles it. So the flare is far less aesthetically pleasing in the iPhone. You can see that there's these big circles around my face, and they both have that awkward green flare, but this one's a little bit smaller on the Pixel, and also the picture's just cleaner overall.
Let's try backlit in portrait mode. Both the cameras jacked up the bokeh in her hair a little bit, but the Pixel did much, much better.
Flaring varied from scene to scene, but generally the iPhone flared more. We made sure both lenses were clean.
Keep saying that they don't do any beauty processing on the iPhone, but
I think they're full of shit.
they're doing something, right?
Both cameras did a better job of separating the foreground when we moved out of the wind. You can also add more bokeh or remove it completely, so the camera's mistakes are never permanent. Of course, you can change color and lighting after you take the shot. A little editing fixed most of each camera's default problems.
So we can go and get shots at this dance school down here, Arthur Murray.
Panoramas let you take super wide angle shots, even though they don't have wide angle lenses. So let's try it out on both.
The iPhone's panorama was vastly superior. It was far sharper throughout. The stitching was generally better, though they both had serious stitching problems in this challenging scene.
The Pixel also has a spherical panorama mode where it stitches together a lot of photos.
The spherical panorama was unusable, as was every other spherical panorama we attempted. The third-party apps do a better job on both phones.
Well, now we're going to go to our daughter's soccer game and test out the slow-mo features on both phones.
Both cameras produced shareable slow motion, but the iPhone footage was noticeably sharper and it had better color. Though neither has a true macro lens, the Pixel 3 showed higher magnification and more detail when working close up. With a handheld night shot, the iPhone had better sharpness and white balance. However, Google is planning an update that should improve night photography. We're doing a giveaway. You can pick between these two phones. Just go to freesdp.com. And if you actually want to learn how to take better pictures, check out our book, Stunning Digital Photography. It's a video book, 14 hours of video. You can get it at Northrop.photo or Amazon. If you go here, you can get 20% off with the coupon code PIXEL. Chelsea, as a professional photographer, which of those two cameras is best?
I think I would lean towards the Pixel. I like the colors better, and the contrast, the color contrast, and just the contrast in general. I really like.
I didn't feel like it was a clear win though. Like sometimes the night shots were better from the iPhone, and as I went back and forth, I could go either way.
It was kind of like they were really equal. Initially, when I first started shooting with the Pixel 3, I was like, holy moly, this blows away the iPhone. And then I started kind of getting more controlled with my testing. So I would go the same lighting, the same subject, and I'd really zoom in. I'd be like, no, they look about the same sharpness. They look pretty equal, but you can see the differences in some places.
And if you're a serious photographer who's thinking about shooting RAW, you can kind of forget it with these two cameras because they both heavily rely on computational photography where they're stacking multiple images, and that does not go into the RAW file, that only goes into the final process file. The RAW files actually look worse. And I think to compensate for that, both developers need to give us some control over that initial processing. They need to let us change the sharpening levels, the contrast, the color.
If you'd like to see us review those new features on the Pixel 3, we'll be doing that soon, so subscribe and hit notifications so you see that video. Give us a like and comment down below if there's any other questions you have about our testing or if there's anything you'd like us to test.
Tell us what your favorite smartphone is and what smartphones you want to see us test in the future.